This is the iGo Core Elite 3D HD, and while that may be a wordy name, the bike comes in as a solid contender in the commuter e-bike landscape. But more importantly, how does it do in our testing? Well, stick around and let's go find out. Hey friends, Mike here and welcome to Electric Bike Report. And before I jump into the testing results, do us a favor by liking this video and subscribe to our channel if you love knowing more about all the latest e-bikes being released, but more importantly, how they perform before you drop your hard-earned cash on a bike. So, with all that out of the way, let's run through what stood out the most to us about this bike, and then I'll run down the rest of the specs and jump into our testing results. So first up, we really like this bright red color on the iGo, and that's a good thing because it's the only color option available for this bike. It's all too often we see the same old black and white colors, and well, it's just refreshing to see something that stands out with a little more personality among its peers. Also, those of you who brave the ride to work on two wheels, check out these commuter perks like full LED lighting, a front to back fenders and racks, plus these racks already have bungee straps installed so you could just grab your gear and go. And finally, we love these Maxxis Outlander tires. They were super quiet on the road and they had very little rolling resistance. Plus you get the peace of mind for a reputable brand like Maxxis. So those features stood out the most. Now let's run down all the remaining specs of the iGo Core Elite 3D HD. All right, starting up here at the handlebars, you have a no-tool adjustable stem and commuter style handlebar with black rubber ergonomic grips. On the left is a push throttle and the menu controls. And over on the right is the Bell and 8-speed Shimano shifter. Working back to the seat, you have a leather commuter saddle with a quick release seat post adjustment. And the bike only comes in one frame size that iGo says fits riders from 5'3" to what they say is over 6'2". Now, I don't know exactly how far that is over 6'2" you can go, so take that for what it's worth. The bike does have a Suntour Next front suspension fork, which is e-bike rated and has 60 millimeters of travel with a lockout option. There's a 48-volt battery, 576 watt-hours, powering the bike's 500-watt rear hub motor and has 48 Newton-meters of torque. The brakes are Tektro E350 hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors with 2-piston calipers. And finally, there's an 8-speed Shimano Altus drivetrain with a 42-tooth chainring and 11 to 32-tooth cog in the rear. All right, that wraps up the full spec rundown. Now let's see how the iGo Core Elite 3D HD performed in our testing. So safety is always a top priority, and to put that to the test, we run the iGo through 3 runs of our braking test by getting the bike to 20 miles an hour, and then we measure the distance it takes for the bike to come to a complete stop. Then, to make sure we're being fair, we take the average distance of those 3 runs and get a reasonable idea of how the brake's stopping power performs. Now, the Core Elite 3D HD ships with Tektro E350 hydraulic brakes and 180mm disc rotors with 2-piston calipers. It's a setup we've seen many times before and generally give us good results. Now in the test, the bike consistently came to a safe stop with an average distance of 23 feet 11 inches across 3 runs. When we zoom out and compare that against other similar bikes, it's on the longer end, but still plenty safe for us. In general, we just like Tektro E350 system, which is also a familiar setup for most bike mechanics, so makes for easy maintenance and servicing. Now, when compared with other commuter e-bikes we've evaluated, the stopping distance of the iGo Core Elite 3D HD fits well within our expectations and overall left us feeling good about the braking. So let's go outside and see how the iGo did in our speed test. All right, we're out here on the iGo Core Elite 3D HD, and it's time for a speed test. So let me kick on the speedometer I got. And using no pedal assist, I'm going about 8 miles an hour. So there's 9 levels of pedal assist, which is a little odd, but for the purposes of a speed test, I'm going to use levels 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 to give ourselves 5 equally spaced out pedal assist levels. So at roughly 8.5 to 9 miles an hour, let's activate level 1. And I feel a slight, and I mean very slight, little bump there. to, looks like 9.7, oh, 10 miles an hour, 10.1. So let's go to level 3. And there I definitely feel that one. That one's got more oomph to it. And now we're going about 11.8, 12.1. So let's go to level 5. And now we're at 15.6, 16. Let's go to level 7. And now we're up at 19.3, 19.7, 20. And then now, looks like 22.2 was the max at the highest level 9, but in our case, the 5th highest level. So there may be a way in the menu, sometimes with these smaller duotone LCD displays, there's some odd looking secret menus you can get into and adjust that, and it might be adjustable to back down to 5. But for the purposes of the speed test, that's what we got. So let's head back inside. All right, so let's do a throttle test, and we'll take this bike from 0 to its max of 20 miles an hour and see how long it takes. On your mark, get set, go. So a little soft off the jump, nothing jumpy, but it goes right into some pretty good buildup of speed, and we're already at 17, 20 right there. So that was pretty fast. So as you saw, this bike features 9 levels of pedal assist, which is a lot, but for simplicity terms, I tested speeds in 5 levels, specifically levels 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. I started off with no pedal assist, pedaling at a casual pace of 8.5 miles an hour just to get a baseline. After engaging PAS1, the speed increased subtly to 10.1. As I moved up to PAS3, the speed increased to 12.1. At PAS5, it climbed to 15.9. And at PAS7, it hit 19.8. And at the maximum setting, PAS9, the speed initially peaked at 22.1, but quickly backed off and settled in right around 20 miles an hour. And that aligns with its Class 2 designation. It's important to note the initial power delivery from the 500-watt rear hub motor felt somewhat sluggish, but it quickly picks up and becomes more confident after just a few seconds. This is likely due to the bike's torque rating of only 48 Newton meters, which is on the lower side, requiring more torque for quicker acceleration. For those cautious about e-bike power or concerned about stability with a jumpy pedal assist, the more gradual ramp up of power compared to more aggressive systems might be appreciated here, providing a smoother ride and giving you more control over the bike. All right, during our range testing of the iGo Core Elite 3D HD, we evaluated the e-bike's performance under both minimum and maximum pedal assist settings. Now we chose PAS2 for our minimum assist settings, as level 1 just proved too sluggish for efficiently covering more extensive distances. And in this setting, the 3D HD achieved a remarkable 52.33 miles over 5 hours and 41 minutes with an average speed of 9.2 miles an hour and an elevation gain of 958 feet. Now conversely, when we tested the e-bike at its highest pedal assist level, at level 9, it covered 27.86 miles in just 1 hour and 32 minutes, averaging 18 miles an hour and gaining 473 feet of elevation. The performance of the Core Elite 3D HD's 48-volt 576 watt-hour battery and cadence sensor activated motor was compared to other e-bikes with similar specifications. A lot of e-bikes are moving to torque sensors for better efficiency and a more natural ride feel. You don't get as great of mileage on a cadence sensor like this bike has, but it's easier to operate. So despite the nuances in power delivery, the iGo Core Elite 3D HD exceeded the manufacturer's estimated maximum range of 47 miles, showing it's a reliable option for commuters seeking a balance of good range and good speed capabilities. So it's safe to say that this bike is not built as a powerhouse for steep inclines, but that doesn't stop us from pushing it to its limits just to see how well it could do. Now we gauged the hill climbing capability of each bike by confronting a local steep hill which the city affectionately named Hellhole. It's known for its steep 12% grade, extending over a quarter mile. The hill test is performed in 2 segments, one using only the throttle and the other using the bike's maximum pedal assist setting. So let's head outside and see how well it performed on our test.
We are on the iGo 3D HD and doing the throttle test up Hellhole. It felt pretty peppy on flat. So we'll see what this does when we turn it around. So again, on throttle, right now it's down about 10, 9 miles per hour, 8, come on. Come on. Ooh, 7, 6, not looking super great. I don't think it's gonna make it. Okay, so down to 3 now, finished. Did not make it up on throttle. But like I said, it felt really peppy when I was pedaling it on flats, so we'll turn it around and do the pedal test. Okay, back at it on the pedal test with the Elite 3D HD from iGo, and it's already starting to feel quite a bit better. Started in 8th, downshifted 6th, 5th. Got a good cadence now. Right around 12 miles an hour up this hill, 11. Again, I'm not putting much, you know, into the pedals myself, trying to see what the bike and the motor can do. So we're down to 9. I will say the motor's pretty darn quiet. Feels nice and natural. There's 9 assist levels, so maybe a little too many there, but I'm in PS9. Got down to 9 miles an hour on that section. I'll let you listen to the motor through this last steep section here. So yeah, fairly quiet. I'd say the motor's a little quieter than average. And did pretty good through there, got down to 9 miles per hour. So it's, you know, not gonna be at the top of the list, but it's very relaxed, very easy to pedal. And it's kind of nice for the, I mean, it's more of that Dutch style commuter bike and just feels nice and comfortable. So if you don't want to have to pedal much, just get in a decent cadence and just kind of turn those cranks and it'll get you up the hill. So yeah, let's go see how it did.
So in the throttle only part of the test, the Core Elite 3D HD faced difficulties primarily due to its 500 watt motor and only 48 Newton meters of torque, which is just not enough for it to reach the top on throttle power alone. And this just backs up our thoughts that this bike could use more torque in the future versions of the bike. However, when utilizing maximum pedal assist, the bike successfully ascended the hill in 1 minute and 30 seconds, maintaining an average speed of 12.1 miles an hour. And this better performance under pedal assist underscores the bike's capabilities when supplemented with some rider effort. Now, in comparison to other bikes we've tested on the same hill, the Core Elite 3D HD's results were respectable, though not outstanding. So, if your regular routes include steep climbs, you might want to consider looking for bikes with more torque designed specifically for hill climbing. Nevertheless, the iGo Core Elite 3D HD can still handle even the meanest hills of southern Utah reliably when tossing in some leg power in conjunction with the pedal assist. So for our last trip outside, we take a look at how the iGo Core Elite 3D HD rides and feels. All right, we're out here on the iGo Core Elite 3D HD, and this is a commuter bike that right as soon as I got on, I initially thought, wow, this bike is pretty smooth. It rolls with very little friction, and it's just a smooth ride. So that immediately jumped out to me. Now, the geometry and body position or riding position on this is going to be pretty typical of a commuter. You've got an upright body position with a slightly curved bar here in the front, not swept back like a cruiser, but a little bit of shape to it to give you more of an ergonomic position. Now, iGo says this will fit riders between 5'3", and then they use the term 5'3" to over 6'2". Now, how far over 6'2", I have no idea. But to dial that in, you do have an adjustable stem here, and they actually did something really neat. They did what's called a toolless adjustable stem. So you've got this lever here, you can open this and then adjust the stem to where you want it and then push it back down and it locks in place. No lever needed, no tools needed, which is really nice if you're on the fly and you want to make some adjustments. Now, the seat post is also adjustable. It's got a quick release lever, so it's another one you could do on the fly without any tools. I'm 5'11", and so I'm on the upper end of their rider height range, but I think to me it feels really solid, and you could probably go up or down from my height without any issues. The bike has suspension in the form of a e-bike rated Sun Tour Nex front fork with about 60 millimeters of travel. It's also got a lockout feature on the fork, which is nice. And overall, the ride's actually very comfortable. You really don't feel a lot. And generally it just rides really, really smooth. And some of that can be attributed to these tires as well. So the tires down below are sized 28 by 1.75. And they have a kind of a street commuter tread pattern on them. So these tires roll with very little friction, have almost no road noise at all. And I would say they're smooth, but I think I've already said that twice, so you get the point. The motor on this is a 500 watt rear hub motor that goes to class 2 speeds of 20 miles an hour. And it's a cadence sensor, and so those are all kind of hit or miss depending on the one you get. So let's give you an idea of how this one feels. So I'm going to stop here, then just see how long it takes it to engage. So right now, boom, that's like a quarter turn, which is really nice on a cadence sensor. We've had bikes that go upwards of a whole turn, like a full 360 or more before it activates. So to activate within a quarter turn really, in my opinion, is a really solid cadence sensor that gives you pretty immediate pedal assistance as you ask for it. All in all, the bike's a pleasure to ride. If you're someone who's got a commuter lifestyle or just want something leisurely that's also utility, you've got racks up front and back, this bike just really does a good job. And with the price and its features, it feels like a really solid bike. So let's head back in and wrap this up.
So as you can see, overall the bike really does ride nice. It's quiet, it's smooth, and frankly, it would just make a solid commuter. I actually appreciate the folks at iGo leaning into making a dedicated commuter that checks most boxes for most riders. If I had to add something that was missing as it currently ships, I'd like to see the bike get some turn signals. At that point, the bike would be, in my opinion, a very solid commuter. Now the drivetrain is geared well enough to be able to pedal even in the unfortunate event that you run out of battery. But again, with over 50 miles in our range test, you should be good to go. Now I really like the fact that iGo went with a really well-known and respected tire brand like Maxxis, and those 28 by 1.75 inch tires just roll so smooth and quiet, it's just another area the bike really shines. Now about this headlight mounted on the fork, to be honest, it just feels like they forgot to add one and added it at the last minute. I'm not really sure why it's there, but at least it's pointed in the right direction. The center of the handlebar has nothing in the middle, and it seems like the handlebar would have been a better location, but who knows. Aside from that, the build quality of these racks is very solid and they feel like they could hold a lot more than they're rated for. But I don't recommend you go and test that. Now iGo says these will hold about 20 pounds on the front rack and 50 pounds in the rear. Now, all in all, this bike rides and feels great on the road. Now, once again, we've covered a lot. So what's the bottom line? Well, it's actually pretty good overall, especially once you factor in the performance and range, giving over 52 miles in a single charge, the solid braking performance, and really just an overall nice ride. The vibrant red here breaks the monotony of the usual black and white options, offering a refreshing look, and the bike's ergonomic design, including the adjustable handlebar and saddle, supports a comfortable and upright riding position that I think most will find to be good. Plus, the addition of quality components like the Maxxis Outlander tires and Tektro hydraulic brakes speak to the bike's commitment to durability and safety. But of course, like all bikes, it has some areas to improve. The placement of the LED headlight on the side of the fork rather than centrally on the handlebars, it just looks odd to me. Also, while the cadence sensor is quick to engage the motor, a torque sensor would improve the natural feel of the bike's pedal assistance and likely improve the range. The motor's performance on hills, particularly under throttle-only conditions, suggests that an increase in torque might be necessary to truly satisfy those who face steep commutes. But despite all of this, the iGo Core Elite 3D HD remains a solid choice for commuters, especially for the ones who want a comfortable, adjustable ride with reliable features, especially at a sticker price of just $17.99. All right, friends, that's it for us today. If you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to help keep the lights on and the reviews coming. Take care, and we'll see you next time.